The phone rang at 2 a.m., shattering the silence of my New York apartment like a gunshot. I bolted upright, heart pounding, knowing nothing good came from calls at that hour. It was the hospital. My sister Willow had overdosed, her life hanging by a thread after years of spiraling hatred that had torn us apart. I stared at the screen, my thumb hovering over the accept button. Willow. The name alone twisted something deep inside me. A mix of rage and reluctant pity. How had we gotten here? From inseparable childhood confidants to bitter enemies, all because I dared to love a woman. By the time I arrived at the sterile emergency room in Brooklyn, the doctors were blunt. Willow needed a liver transplant, or she'd be dead within weeks. The cost? Astronomical, even with insurance. And as her only living relative, the decision fell to me, Vivian, the sister she'd betrayed, humiliated, and robbed blind. I paced the waiting room, the fluorescent lights buzzing like accusations. Why me? After everything she'd done? But the memories flooded back unbidden, pulling me into the vortex of our shared past. It started in our small-town Ohio home, where conformity was king and deviation was sin. Our parents, devout Catholics, raised us with ironclad rules. Church on Sundays, straight A's, and above all, a future mapped out with husbands and white picket fences. Willow, 2 years my junior, was the golden child. Cheerleader, prom queen, effortlessly fitting the mold. I was the quiet one, the bookworm who hid her confusion behind stacks of novels. But at 18, during my freshman year at NYU, I met Emily. She was a photography major, with a laugh that lit up the room and eyes that saw right through my facade. Our friendship blossomed into something more. Tentative kisses in hidden corners, whispered confessions under the city lights. For the first time I felt alive, authentic. I was in love with a woman. Coming out to my family was supposed to be liberating. I planned it carefully over Thanksgiving break, hoping the holiday spirit would soften the blow. Mom, Dad, Willow, I said, my voice trembling as we sat around the turkey remnants. I'm gay. I've been seeing someone, Emily. She's amazing and I want you to meet her. The silence was deafening. Dad's face turned to stone. Mom burst into tears. But Willow's reaction cut deepest. Her eyes narrowed, lips curling in disgust. You're what? This is a phase, Vivian. You're ruining everything. What will people say? It wasn't a phase. And the fallout was swift. Dad disowned me that night, cutting off my tuition. Mom begged me to pray it away. Willow, though, went nuclear. She spread rumors back home, telling friends I was confused and attention-seeking. When I returned to NYU on scholarships, she called constantly, alternating between pleas and threats. Come back to normal or you're dead to us. I didn't bend. Emily became my anchor, our relationship deepening amid the chaos. We moved in together after graduation, building a life in the city, me as a rising marketing executive, her freelancing with her camera. We were happy, or as happy as one can be with a family-sized hole in the heart. Then came the inheritance. Our parents died in a car crash 3 years later, leaving everything to us equally. The house, savings, stocks, worth over $1 million. But Willow, executor of the will, had other plans. She contested it, claiming I was unfit due to my lifestyle. In court, she painted me as the deviant daughter, unworthy of their legacy. Vivian abandoned our values, she testified, tears streaming. She chose sin over family. The judge, an old-school conservative, bought it. Willow walked away with everything. The house sold, funds transferred to her account. I got nothing but legal bills and a restraining order she filed for her safety. Betrayal burned like acid. How could my own sister do this? In my mind, I replayed our childhood. Sharing secrets under blankets, defending each other from bullies. Was that all a lie? Or had her hatred for my identity poisoned everything? Emily held me through the nights I raged inwardly. She's scared, Viv. Society drilled it into her, being gay is wrong. But you don't need their money. We have each other. She was right, mostly. I threw myself into work, climbing the corporate ladder at a top ad firm. Success came, promotions, bonuses, a sleek apartment overlooking Central Park. Emily's career took off too. Her photos graced magazines. We talked marriage, adoption, a future untainted by the past. But Willow? She vanished into her own hell. Rumors trickled in via mutual friends. She married a banker, had a kid. But the marriage crumbled under her growing addiction to pills. The inheritance? Squandered on bad investments and luxuries. Last I heard, she was alone in a rundown apartment in Queens, estranged from everyone. Now here I was facing her frail form in the ICU. Tubes snaked everywhere. Her once vibrant face gaunt and yellowed. The doctor pulled me aside. She's cirrhotic from years of abuse. Transplant list is long, but private options exist, if you can fund it. Fund it? With what? My savings were solid but not transplant level. I'd have to sell assets. Stocks, perhaps the apartment. Everything I built from scratch. Inside a storm raged. Why save her? She stole my share, spat on my love. Letting her die would be justice, wouldn't it? But as I watched her chest rise and fall, a whisper of doubt crept in. Was I any better if I walked away? I called Emily from the hallway. It's Willow. She's dying. They need money, our money. Her voice was steady, but I heard the undercurrent of pain. Viv, after what she did. To you, to us. I know. But she's my sister. Flesh and blood. A long pause. It's your call. But think about what it costs us. Hanging up, I leaned against the wall, mind racing. The decision loomed like a guillotine. Save her and risk our stability. Let her go and live with the guilt forever. By dawn I'd made up my mind. I signed the papers authorizing the transfer. The broker would handle the sales, the hospital would get the funds. Willow would live, because despite everything, I couldn't let hatred win. But as I left the hospital, a bitter thought gnawed. Was this forgiveness or just another way she stole from me? The weeks blurred into a frenzy of paperwork and phone calls. Selling the apartment meant uprooting our life. Emily's studio packed into boxes, our cozy routines disrupted. We crashed with friends in Brooklyn. The air thick with unspoken resentment. Why are we doing this? Emily asked one night, as we lay on an air mattress. Her hand traced my arm, but tension hummed between us. Because if I don't, I'll hate myself more than I hate her. It was the truth, raw and unfiltered. In my quieter moments I wrestled with the morality of it all. Willow's hatred stemmed from ignorance, fed by our upbringing. Society whispered that my love was aberrant, a choice to reject. But was it her fault or the system's? Flashbacks haunted me. After the inheritance theft, I'd confronted her one last time. Why Willow? We were family. Her eyes, cold as steel, met mine. Family doesn't betray God. Your love is disgusting. Emily, she's just a phase you'll regret. Those words echoed as I visited her in recovery. Post-surgery, she was weak but alive. The new liver a miracle bought with my sacrifice. I stood by her bed, arms crossed. Vivian. Her voice was a rasp. You paid for this. I nodded, throat tight. Yeah, everything. Tears welled in her eyes. Why? After what I did? Good question. I wanted to scream, to list every wound. The disownment she fueled, the rumors that cost me friends, the financial ruin she orchestrated. Instead I said, because letting you die wouldn't fix anything. She looked away, shame flickering. But was it real? Or just survival instinct? Back home, or what was left of it, Emily's patience frayed. She's awake now. Does she even thank you? Or is it more excuses? We argued that night, voices rising in the cramped space. This isn't about her gratitude, I snapped. It's about me not becoming a monster. And what about us? Our dreams? We were saving for a house, kids. Now we're starting over because of her bigotry. Her words stung, mirroring my inner turmoil. Had I chosen blood over love? Emily was my chosen family, the one who'd stood by me when blood turned toxic. Yet here I was prioritizing Willow. The doubt grew. In therapy sessions I'd started attending, I unpacked it all. Society pits us against each other, the counselor said. Your sister's actions reflect internalized homophobia. But your choice, it's complex. Mercy or masochism? I didn't know. As Willow recovered, she reached out tentatively. Texts at first. Thank you. Then calls. Can we talk? I agreed to meet at a neutral cafe in Manhattan. She arrived looking fragile, her once perfect hair limp, clothes baggy. Viv, I'm sorry. For everything. Sorry. The word hung there, inadequate. Why now? Because I saved you. She winced. Partly. But the overdose, it was rock bottom. I saw my life flash. The hate I spewed, the family I destroyed. It was all fear. Fear of what people thought, of losing control. I leaned forward, voice low. You didn't just fear. You acted. You stole from me, Willow. Because I love Emily. Her head bowed. I know. Dad's will, it was easy to twist. I convinced myself you didn't deserve it. That your choice invalidated you. Choice. That word ignited fire. It's not a choice. It's who I am. She nodded slowly. I get that now. Therapy helps. And meeting someone. Someone? My eyebrows shot up. Her name's Sarah. A nurse at the hospital. We talked during recovery. She's like you. The revelation hit like a slap. Willow, the poster child for straight-laced normalcy, falling for a woman? You're gay. Bisexual, maybe. I don't know. But it terrifies me, the hypocrisy. All those years judging you, and now. Laughter bubbled up, bitter and incredulous. So you get a second chance at life and love while I pay the price? Tears streamed down her face. I don't deserve this. But please, Viv, forgive me. Forgiveness. The word tasted like ash. I stood, leaving without an answer. Walking home, my mind churned. Was this her awakening? Or manipulation? Emily waited, concern etched on her face. How'd it go? I collapsed into her arms. She's seeing a woman. After all that hate. The irony twisted us both. But as we held each other, a crack formed in our bond. Viv, if you let her back in, what does that say about us? I pulled back. It says I'm trying to heal. For all of us. But inside, the conflict raged. Willow's confession forced me to confront my own biases. If she was genuine, denying her redemption made me the villain. Yet trusting her risked more pain. Days turned to weeks. Willow persisted, sending letters detailing her regrets, her efforts to make amends. She volunteered at an LGBTQ center, donated what little she had left. I'm changing, she wrote. For you, for me. Skepticism warred with hope. Society's scars ran deep. How many families tore apart over identity? How many reconciliations failed? One evening, Emily issued an ultimatum. Choose Viv. Her or us. I can't watch you bleed for someone who broke you. The words echoed my deepest fear. Had saving Willow cost me everything again? I spent the night alone, staring at the ceiling. Decisions loomed. Forgive and rebuild or cut ties forever. The price of either path felt unbearable. The ultimatum hung over me like a storm cloud. Emily's eyes, usually warm, now held a steely resolve. I love you, Viv. But this? It's destroying us. I nodded numbly, the weight of her words sinking in. Our relationship, once a sanctuary, now felt like a battlefield. Every conversation circled back to Willow. Her recovery, her apologies, her newfound self-discovery. I need time, I said finally. Emily packed a bag and left for her sister's place in Jersey, giving me space, but it felt like abandonment. Alone in the temporary sublet, I dove into introspection. Why was forgiveness so hard? In my mind, I replayed the court battle. Willow's testimony laced with venom. Vivian's choices disgrace our family name. The judge's gavel sealed my financial fate. But the emotional toll was worse. Feeling unworthy, abnormal. Society amplified it. Growing up, media portrayed lesbians as tragedies or punchlines. Church sermons condemned us. Even in progressive New York, microaggressions lingered. Stares on the street, colleagues' awkward questions. Willow embodied that rejection, making her betrayal personal. But now, her own awakening complicated everything. Was she a victim too, brainwashed by the same system? Or was this convenient remorse? I visited her again, this time at her modest apartment in Queens. She opened the door looking healthier, a tentative smile on her face. Viv, come in. The place was sparse. A couch, a few books, photos of us as kids on the wall. Nostalgia tugged, but I pushed it down. We sat, tea steaming between us. Tell me about Sarah, I said. Her face lit up. She's kind, patient. Helped me see my hate was projection. I was jealous, Viv. You lived authentically while I suffocated in expectations. Jealous? The admission floored me. You had everything. Parents' approval, the inheritance, a normal life. But it was empty. Marriage to Tom? A facade. Pills numbed the void. Your courage. I envied it. Courage. I'd never seen it that way. Coming out felt like survival, not bravery. But her words chipped at my armor. We talked for hours, unearthing buried pains. She admitted spreading lies to isolate me, fearing my truth would expose her doubts. I thought if I destroyed you, I'd affirm my path. The confession hurt, but it humanized her. Misdirected fear, not malice. Still, actions had consequences. What now? I asked. You can't undo the theft. I know, but I can repay slowly. And support you. Meet Emily if she'll have me. The idea terrified me. Bridging worlds that clashed so violently. Leaving, I felt lighter but conflicted. Forgiveness wasn't absolution. It was a choice to release resentment. But at what cost to my own peace? Emily returned 2 days later, bags in hand. I missed you. But we need boundaries. We agreed. Cautious steps with Willow prioritizing us. Therapy together, rebuilding trust. But society intruded. News of anti-LGBTQ bills in states like Florida reminded me of ongoing battles. Willow's story mirrored many. Internalized hate leading to destruction, then redemption arcs that demanded grace from the wounded. At work, a campaign for Pride Month forced reflection. As I pitched inclusive ads, colleagues praised my authenticity. Irony. My pain fueled professional success. Willow invited us to dinner. Emily hesitated but agreed. For you. The evening was tense. Sarah was there, warm and unassuming. Willow apologized directly to Emily. I was wrong. Your love is beautiful. Emily's response was measured. Words are easy. Actions matter. Dinner passed in awkward bursts of conversation. Childhood stories surfaced, laughter tentative. By dessert, walls cracked. Emily shared her own coming-out tale. Willow listened intently. Driving home, Emily squeezed my hand. She's trying. That's something. Hope flickered. But doubt lingered. Could we truly heal? Months passed. Willow repaid in installments, scraping from her job as a counselor. She advocated publicly, speaking at events about her journey from bigotry to ally. I watched wary. One speech hit home. I hurt my sister because society taught me her love was wrong. But love is love. I paid the price, almost with my life. Pride swelled, mixed with resentment. Her narrative cast her as redeemed, me as the forgiving hero. But heroes bleed too. A crisis tested it all. Emily's gallery show tanked due to a critic's homophobic review. Devastated, she lashed out. See? The world still hates us. And your sister was part of that. The argument escalated. She's changed. Has she? Or is it survival? I stormed out, ending up at Willow's. Is this real? Your change. She met my gaze. Yes. But I understand if you can't believe it. That night I weighed the scales. Betrayal versus redemption, hate versus hope. Returning home, Emily and I reconciled. We fight this together. But the fracture remained, a reminder of the costs. As high tide approached, a phone call shattered the fragile peace. Willow's ex-husband sued for custody of their child, citing her new lifestyle as unfit. The irony burned. Now she faced the discrimination she'd once wielded. Help me, Viv, she pleaded. The decision loomed again. Stand by her, or let karma run its course. The custody battle thrust us into the spotlight, a microcosm of societal wars. Willow's ex, Tom, a conservative lawyer, dragged her orientation into court. Unstable, immoral, his filings read. Echoes of what she'd said about me. I testified for her, voice steady despite the churning gut. Willow has grown. She's a loving mother, deserving of her child. The judge, progressive-leaning, ruled in her favor. Victory tasted bittersweet, justice for her, but a reminder of how easily roles reversed. Post-trial, Willow hugged me tightly. Thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. But inside, resentment simmered. I'd sacrificed again. Time off work, emotional energy. Emily noticed. You're exhausted, Viv. When does it end? Good question. The cycle of pain and pardon felt endless. In quiet moments I questioned my choices. Was enabling her growth enabling my own erasure? Society's lens complicated it. Media latched onto our story. Sisters reunited after hate-fueled betrayal. Articles praised my forgiveness, but glossed over the scars. Comments debated. Beautiful redemption versus foolish. Once a bigot, always. The discourse mirrored my inner debate. Morality wasn't black and white. Shades of gray dominated. Emily and I hit a rough patch. Her resentment toward Willow festered. She gets a happy ending on your dime? We sought couples therapy. Boundaries are key, the counselor advised. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. I tried. Limited contact with Willow, focusing on us. We planned a wedding, small, intimate, a reclaiming of joy. Inviting Willow was contentious. She should be there, I argued. Emily relented, but tension brewed. The day arrived. A rooftop ceremony in Brooklyn, sun setting over the skyline. Vows exchanged, rings slipped on. Joy overflowed, until Willow approached during the reception. Congrats, sis. You deserve this. Her words sincere, but they triggered a flood. All the lost years, the stolen inheritance, the near loss of Emily. I pulled her aside. Do you get the damage? Really? She nodded, eyes downcast. Every day, I'm making amends, not just to you but to the community I hurt. Amends. She volunteered more, donated to LGBTQ causes. Sarah proposed, they planned a quiet union. Watching her rebuild, envy crept in. She'd hit bottom, risen while I still carried the weight. A promotion at work offered escape. Relocation to San Francisco. Fresh start, away from the drama. Emily jumped at it. Yes. Let's go. But Willow? Leaving meant severing the fragile bond. I broke the news over coffee. We're moving. Her face fell. I understand. I've taken enough. Guilt twisted. It's not punishment. It's self-care. She hugged me. Be happy, Viv. You've earned it. Packing up, reflections poured. The journey. From betrayal to salvation, hate to hesitant love. Moral quandaries abounded. Did saving her absolve her sins? Was my sacrifice noble or naive? On our last night in New York, Emily and I toasted to new beginnings. Yet as the plane lifted off, a thought nagged. Had I truly forgiven or just postponed the reckoning? In San Francisco, life bloomed. New jobs, new friends, a queer community that embraced us without baggage. Willow visited occasionally, relationships mending slowly. Her daughter called me Aunt Viv, a title that warmed and wounded. But peace remained elusive. Dreams replayed the overdose call, the decisions that defined me. One evening, scrolling news, I saw a story. A family disowning their gay child. Comments raged. They'll regret it versus, they're right. It hit home. Our saga encapsulated the debate. Can bigots change? Should victims forgive? Emily sensed my mood. Still thinking about her? Always. Was it worth it? She kissed my forehead. You saved a life. That's worth everything. But was it? The costs. Our stability, my mental health, strains on our love. As years passed, Willow thrived. Her advocacy grew. She wrote a book on overcoming internalized homophobia. Royalties went partly to me, repayment complete. Reading it, tears fell. Her account was honest. The hate, the betrayal, the awakening. My sister's grace saved me. Not just physically but spiritually. Grace. Was that what it was? At a book signing, we reunited. Crowds applauded her story. Backstage, she said, "Thank you for everything." I smiled. We're even. But inside, the question lingered. In the grand moral ledger, who won? Life moved on. Emily and I adopted a child, building the family we dreamed. Willow became a distant but positive presence. Yet in quiet moments, the ethical maze resurfaced. Society demanded victims turn the other cheek, but at what price? The ultimate test came when our daughter came out as bi. Fear gripped. Would history repeat? We supported her fully, no drama. Willow called, offering advice. I've been there on the wrong side. Let me help. Her involvement strengthened us. Perhaps redemption was possible. But doubts persisted. Had my choices enabled true change, or just shifted the burden? As I watched our daughter flourish, peace settled. The cycle broken, at least for now. The years in San Francisco brought stability. But the past shadows never fully faded. Our daughter, Lily, grew into a confident teen, her coming out a non-event compared to mine. "Thanks for making it easy," she said one day. Easy? It took battles I shielded her from. Willow's role evolved. Aunt, confidant, a living lesson in growth. But moral ambiguities haunted. At a family gathering, Willow shared her story with Lily. "I was wrong once. Hurt your mom deeply." Lily listened wide-eyed. "Why'd you do it?" "Fear. Society's lies." The exchange stirred unease. Was glorifying Willow's arc minimizing my pain? Emily voiced it later. "She gets credit for changing, but you bore the brunt." True. The inheritance loss delayed our dreams. The emotional toll sparked therapy bills. Yet seeing Willow's positive impact, mentoring queer youth, softened the edges. A health scare for Emily tested resolve. Breast cancer diagnosis stage 2. Treatment costs mounted, echoing past sacrifices. Willow offered help immediately. "Let me contribute. It's the least." I accepted, but with strings. "This evens us fully." She agreed. Emily recovered, our bond stronger. But the transaction felt like closure. Or was it? In reflection, the drama's layers unfolded. Personal betrayal intersecting societal prejudice. Willow's actions weren't isolated. They reflected a culture that vilified difference. Her full transformation came via activism. She lobbied against conversion therapy, sharing our story with permission. Impact. Lives changed, policies shifted. Pride filled me, but questions remained. Did her good deeds erase the bad? Ethics debated. Restorative justice versus retribution. One night over wine, Willow and I delved deep. "Do you regret saving me?" she asked. "No. But the cost was high." "I know. If I could trade places." "You can't." We move forward. Forward meant embracing complexity. No villains or heroes, just humans navigating flaws. Lily's graduation brought us together. Watching her speak on equality, I saw echoes of us both. My resilience, Willow's redemption. Post-ceremony, Willow pulled me aside. "You've taught me more than I deserved. And you've shown change is possible." Tears mingled with laughter. Perhaps that was the win. Life's twists continued. When anti-LGBTQ rhetoric surged nationally, Willow stood frontline protesting. Arrested once, she called from jail. "Worth it." Bailing her out, roles reversed amusingly. "Your turn to save me," she joked. Humor healed. As decades passed, aging brought perspective. Emily and I retired to a coastal home, grandkids visiting. Willow nearby shared holidays. In her final years, illness returned. This time, no dramatic saves, just peaceful hospice. At her bedside, she whispered, "Thank you for seeing the good in me." I held her hand. "Thank you for becoming it." She passed quietly, leaving a legacy of change. Grieving, I pondered the journey. Hate's destruction, forgiveness's power, society's role in it all. Emily comforted. "You did right." But was it right? The eternal question. In the end, our story sparked debates in forums, books, talks. People argued. Forgiveness empowers or enables? As I sit now watching the waves, I wonder too. Was sacrificing everything to save a bigoted sister an act of profound love? Or a misguided betrayal of self?